You cut that off too early.
That's how the song goes. I don't even cut it off.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
You made it up.
I didn't make up the song.
I mean, you designed the song. I wouldn't say you made it up, but you designed it.
Hello. Good evening.
What's up?
Hello. It's Conversating, Conversing, and Relating. I'm your co-host, April Autumn Sparks here.
I'm life coach CoachJHughes. I don't know why it sounded like a robot.
And you're tearing up the charcuterie board, man.
Couldn't help it.
Listen, this was full.
Yeah.
This was
like
full.
Cheese and meats and I mean, still cheese and meats on here and nuts, but
is it really?
Not enough. Not enough. Anyway.
Okay, you earned it. It's time to start the show.
It is time to start the show.
Time to start the show. Well, let's start off, with some church announcements. Church announcements. No,
okay.
Just some special announcements. This past week, again, has been eventful.
It has been extremely eventful.
Okay.
It's been eventful to the point of we've gone deeper you and I have gone deeper as far as understanding of self, our relationship, and we've had some real good aha moments.
Yes, most definitely. Last week on the show, we talked a lot about vulnerability and us being vulnerable with each other and showing support and all of those things. And I must say, I want to give a special thank you to you.
Me?
Yeah, he didn't know that. He really didn't know that. Because this past week, I had to do my oral exam for my PhD program, and you supported me like no other.
Right.
Like all the things, because people get all of this, and you get the...
Yeah, I get.
You get me in my most natural form.
I get it in the rawest form.
Rawest, it is.
Yeah.
And so you didn't back up from the challenge of supporting me through this, and even when I tried to back out.
Right. But when you tried to back out, I supported you backing out.
You did. You were like, well,
I was like,
if that's what you feel like.
If that's what you want to do.
And then God was like, girl, bye. No, we ain't doing this. Come on now. And situations happened where it was a do or die situation and I had to do it. And so I passed. So step 1 of 3 is done. I'm on to step 2,
right? Which
is going. It's going.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going.
And so I wanted to thank you for being authentically you and wonderful and great. And I love this life with you.
Oh, I love this life with you too. Mwah. You're nasty. That was nasty in a good way. We're going to do some nasty stuff later. Anyway, no, I had to, your PhD program, just like any degree, I feel, I don't care if it's associates or a PhD program. Of course, the higher you go, the harder it gets.
All right.
But I felt like this was a time that I was supposed to be the cheerleader. They're a male cheerleader, so I don't feel wrong for saying that.
Texas A&M, that's all they have.
Right. I was supposed to be the essential cheerleader for you and basically continuing and, going through and pushing through. And then, like I said, when you were like, well, maybe I should postpone it. Because it wasn't like you weren't trying to do it. You were just going to postpone it so you could feel more comfortable in the thing. And so when I was like, all right, see if you can postpone it. And then lo and behold, they were like, well, we're going to change up some stuff. And I was like, so what you want to do, nigga? And you were like, yeah, no.
I don't have a choice.
You were like, no.
Let me be a little bit more vulnerable. So was this in February, March? February. It was in February before our cruise. So your girl fell and hit her head pretty hard. Okay then, girl. Okay. All right, we're going to talk about that later, okay? But your girl fell, hit her head, and got a light concussion. And so I don't even want to say light. It was a concussion.
No, it was light because if it sounds like it was a bad concussion. It looked like it was a bad concussion.
I passed out, hit my head on the ground hard, the back of my head. Oh, twice.
Well, you hit the side of your head first, and then the back. When I heard, and then I got up, and you were in the bathroom, and I was coming to get you, and as soon as I came and got you off the floor from the first time you fell, then you decided to pass out again, slip out of my hands, and hit your head.
I decided. Because I had control of all of that. But whatever.
Decided. You was just like, no, I want to pass out again.
Okay. So, like, that sounds really, really bad. I get it. I was not drinking. I was not doing any of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I wasn't none of that.
So, I had a concussion.
Yeah.
And so, my head was doing the things. I was having a hard time finding words. I was searching for words. I was really concerned.
Right.
And so then, on top of that, I'm studying for this oral exam, which is the depth and breadth of what I've been doing for the past couple of years in class. I have to actually talk about cases. It's like I did 12 therapeutic sessions in an hour.
Right.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was like the material was not staying in my head. It just wasn't. And I was like, okay, maybe this isn't the time. Maybe I need to take a break and try again.
Right.
And they said, sure, you can do that. So we're going to start all over and you're going to have to go through this. I was like, start over.
I think they started you with 7 case files to study?
Yeah.
And they were like, we'll start over, but then you have 7 more to study. Or 8 more to study on top of the 7 we already gave you.
Mm-hmm.
And out of those, the batch of 7 and the batch of 8, we're going to test you on that. And you were like, I'll just stick with the 7.
No, I'm good. I'm stick with what we got. I don't want to.
I'll stick with the 7.
I'm getting to this point.
Right.
And so, yeah, we did it. I'm thankful. I had the legacy of Isabella Hughes. Katero, I will tell you that story in private and we'll cry together. But blazing that trail, and then I had my ancestors applauding me and with me, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. I went in and I saw this print that my mom gave me as a child to remind me of me, and I just started crying, and my professor was like, what in the world? And so it was just a reminder of all of the love and support that I had. And yeah, it was wonderful. So thank you and all of those, because I canceled group this week.
Yeah.
I was like, no group, I'm sorry. I need for y'all to, okay, we'll start again next week. But I passed. So thank you all for the prayers and the good energy and all of that. So I appreciate it.
It was a hectic week. It was a trying week.
Yep.
We kind of knew that the end of this month was going to be that.
Yes.
We weren't expecting it to be that robust as far as the trials and the challenges that came, but we had to stick it out and we had to punch through.
Yep.
And that's what we did. So now you got that part down, and then there's 2 more parts to go before you get the letters, the magical letters.
The magical letters that I'll be finished with a PH and a D at the end.
PhD.
Yes.
Right.
So thank you all for all the great energy. Yeah. Please keep it up.
That's what happened this week. There was some good stuff, other good things that happened this week. Somebody else did good or got the news that they're about to graduate next month. That's right.
2 things.
Yeah, right. Yeah. 2 things.
So graduation is coming up in the next month, which I'm so excited. My other sister, Hughes.
Dallas Hughes.
Yes, love her big. Her big. She is a force to be reckoned with.
Right.
And then she is now a GMA.
GMA.
Yeah.
She gangster with it. Shout outs to Renaya for, is it Renaya? Yes, Renaya having her firstborn. But send prayers up because she's struggling with blood pressure issues and stuff like that. So that stuff really did, the pregnancy really did a number on her body. So prayers up for that. But officially, she's graduating next month as far as Miss Renata, and now she's G-Ma Renata. I think that's what we got. We got to get a shirt that says G-Ma Renata. Right there on the thing.
She gonna say gangsta mama.
Yeah,
That's what it's called.
She gonna try to punch me in the face.
Gangsta mama, not grandma. Gangsta.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So shout out to that, and it's I don't know. It's a bunch of people getting ready to graduate next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
especially
lot.
in our family.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Me and then my daughter, from her BSW program,
Mhm.
Bachelor's of Social Work, from NC State. Go Pack, go Pack, and then my baby Elena will be graduating from high school. So it is like, ooh wee, man.
Yeah.
It's busy. So we will keep up the work. We will keep pushing on and doing the things that we do to make this world go round.
Right. Facing challenges is what we do. What we do every day. So iron sharpen iron. And those are our church announcements.
Thank you very much for your time and attention during the church announcement.
May we bow our heads.
I feel like we missed something. Stephanie had a birthday party yesterday that I'm very sad that I didn't get to come
a chance to go.
Yes, happy, even though we real early, but the birthday was for Jackie. So it's a combination of lots of folks' birthday celebrations. So Kim Patton was one of them. Jackie's gonna kill my name because I can't remember her last name right now. But listen, concussion.
Concussion. You just
That's
said
what I'm saying.
Right, you just said
concussion.
Yeah. All right.
And then Stephanie. So yeah.
Happy birthdays to those people who had birthdays.
And it's 60th.
60th.
That's why it was like big.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, she's a vampire. She doesn't look like it.
Let me say these things.
She is a vet. She looks like she's 50, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what vampires do.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't look their age.
They don't. Okay. Will you please stop looking at me? I come out during the daytime. Thank you very much. I love the sun.
You're not outside in the sun. It's fluorescent lights in here.
Shut up.
That's right. Happy birthday. Shout out to all the people that's tuned in. Shout out to my boy Jason Clark. He is about to jump the broom.
Hey!
About to do his thing pretty soon. He's going to become a married man. Shout out to Miss Hughes, Ohio Hughes, getting ready to take on another school year in the KIPP, Ohio, I think it's Columbus or Cleveland? Columbus School District, one of the school districts out there. She's heading the pack in that school district.
She is.
She's
amazing. I mean,
third grade she's running third grade. You know, they'll probably make her head of everybody, all the teachers in third grade.
She already is.
Yeah, she's a bunch of awards. You know, students excelling, state exam excelling. So shout out to that. She's doing good as well. So listen, we want to get right into it. Okay, this one is going to be tough for you. Because it was tough. It was tough. It was a punch in the face for us, right? We were talking about this, and we always have conversations. That's how we come up with these topics, because when you have a life coach and a therapist in one room, it's all kind of conversation.
Sounds like a bad.
In walks in this life coach and this therapist to a bar, and they sit down and have a drink. So we're talking about the cost of vulnerability. Now, vulnerability is defined a bunch of different ways from a bunch of different perspectives.
You see, I'm like giving the face like.
How do you guys out there define vulnerability for yourself? When somebody asks you, what is vulnerability to you, right? What do you guys say? I want to hear in the chat. And we do have a number that we're going to ask that you guys, if you want to call in, you can. Let me get this. See if I can get
trying to get fancy, okay? Going back to fancy.
Right. So, but if you don't want to call in, because we're still on a new system, it's okay. We may get it right. We may not. I don't know. We'll try. But if you don't want to call in, text it in the chat. Let's see what you guys say. about what vulnerability means to you guys, right?
Right.
Now, while we're waiting on that, I want to see what vulnerability means to you.
To me?
Yeah, to you.
One of the things that we say quite frequently is emotional nakedness.
Mm.
You know, people, I feel like, can be naked physically all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can take their clothes off and do things and not worry about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not really care.
Right.
But emotional nakedness, whew, that's hard. So being seen,
right,
actually seen emotionally, mentally, physically, emotionally.
right.
That's the thing.
Right.
That's the thing. And so for me, that is at the core of how you can be vulnerable with someone and actually communicating. That's the part. Communicating those things to somebody else. And before you can communicate them, actually knowing within yourself, because a lot of people aren't even aware and vulnerable with themselves, but that's a whole nother.
Well, I mean, we're gonna touch that. We're gonna touch that. When I think of vulnerability, I think of complete exposure of the core of who you are, right? And accepting that core,
right?
Like it's the hill you're gonna die on, right?
Okay.
So complete exposure to the outside world of who you are at your core, and then accepting that core is the hill you're gonna die on. For me, that's vulnerability.
Okay.
Now, that vulnerability jumps into categories, right? And for me, you have to be vulnerable in each category. The category of emotion, okay? The category of mentally, the category of spiritually, for those who are spiritual, right? And even the category of physical, because we said, I heard you say that people can, take their clothes off and be naked. There are people who are not even vulnerable physically.
You're right. Like, turn the lights off before we do that.
Or they get in the pool with their shirt on. Yeah. And they got a whole bathing suit, or he get in the pool with his shirt on and his shorts, and he act like,
don't nobody care.
We not still gonna see whatever.
Yeah.
So vulnerability is on a spectrum, depending on how you look at it.
I like the way you said it when we were talking about it in the car.
Right.
It was so cool. It was like vulnerability is in lanes, where in certain lanes you can accelerate and go fast and pass people and get things done, right? Get to your destination quickly.
Yeah.
In certain lanes, you might as well just pull over and put your hazards on and just sit there.
Right. Right.
You ain't going nowhere. Yeah. You're not going anywhere. You're not vulnerable at all. And so we were talking, and you tossed out like finances. Like some people can be like, oh yeah, I make this kind of money. I do this, I do that. But that's more in your business life. Right?
Right.
But when it comes to a personal lane, like you said, with emotions, we on the side.
You on the side?
We in the feeder.
Right.
Oh, we pulling over and get something to drink.
Hughes says, in openness and sharing the parts of yourself that are still becoming, allowing your partner to bear witness to you in those moments. That's very tough.
Okay.
That's very tough. That's very accurate too.
Yes.
Because what we have to understand is even in each category or each lane, vulnerability is fluid, right? It's ever changing, right? And so that's why when I gave the lane analogy, because we know, for those who can drive correctly, the far left lane, I seen you. You okay. You okay.
You know I love the far left lane, so be quiet.
So in the far left lane, we're supposed to pass oncoming traffic. That's the passing lane, right? Every other lane,
shut up.
Every other lane is for regular driving. When you get on the on-ramp, you're supposed to accelerate to match the speed of traffic so you can easily merge in.
Correct.
A lot of people don't even get on the highway of the emotional vulnerability because they on the feeder trying to take the safe route.
Look, they're like, We were coming from the Galleria the other day, remember? And there's not a yield. There's nothing in that corner.
Right.
You just get on. Where 610 and 59 meet, you just get on. Right?
Right.
People were stopped. Signal on. And people are honking. People are going around. People stuck.
There's no yield sign.
No
That's what
yield.
you're saying.
No yield.
It's a turn.
No stop.
It's a curve,
It's
and
just a
you just
curve.
go because you have your own lane, and there's no yield sign. But yet and still, people are stopping and yielding when it doesn't require you to do so. So imagine that in vulnerability.
And they just came from a green light, and then they slam on the brakes.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
They just came from a green light.
Mm-hmm. And slam on the brakes.
Okay, y'all will get that later. Okay. Gotta take a drink on that one too.
Yeah, that was a drink worth. So vulnerability is on the spectrum.
Uh-huh.
There are some underlying factors of vulnerability. Vulnerability allows for somebody to be emotionally available, spiritually available, physically available, financially available. Right? There's all these categories in which vulnerability can be applied. Mm-hmm. But the key word is available. Right? Open to and available. Those are some key words that are synonymous with vulnerability. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about vulnerability in the space of the black man and the black woman operating in this country, whether they're single or in a relationship, vulnerability seems to be weaponized.
Right.
Right?
I think we can, you're right, whether single, with someone, in families, in friendships, whatever. You're right, it's weaponized.
Right.
Period.
Right. Definitely weaponized. Now, I believe vulnerability is weaponized because in our community, in our ecosystem as African Americans in this country, we actually do not know what or how vulnerability operates. We have a surface level idea at best.
I would say it. I agree. I would say that we've never been taught vulnerability.
Oh yeah, we've never been taught.
Yeah, and for example, Finding Queendom, and we were talking. We talk a lot about feelings, and in purpose, you talk about feelings.
Right.
That's typically not something that we are afforded the opportunity to do, to actually have feelings.
Right.
So vulnerability is connected to your feelings.
Right. Right.
And so if you're never afforded the opportunity to say, you have feelings and emotions, would you like to talk about those and express those and maybe process through to get to a different place? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not a thing.
Or overusing vulnerability because it gets you to a space where you have your intentions with vulnerability has been weaponized. Right?
Say more about that, my love.
So the intentions of vulnerability, when people use vulnerability in a weaponized form, meaning they're using their vulnerability and they're letting you see that they're vulnerable, but only because they have a hidden agenda with that vulnerability.
Or certain parts of what you may believe
is their vulnerability.
Right.
Right. Right.
Or what I can show you to make you think that I'm vulnerable.
Right. Like if you say, oh, I'm looking for a man who's in touch with his feelings, and I'm not in touch with my feelings. However, I can play like I'm in touch with my feelings, exposing a fake vulnerability asset that you're looking in.
Right.
Then I've weaponized vulnerability just to have a hidden agenda and see how you're going to react.
Right.
And if, because I'm weaponizing it, if my end goal is met, my hidden agenda is met, then I will continue to weaponize that as long as you eat off of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I can say, you know what? I'm not really interested in a relationship. I'm just in it for the sex. I just want that, knowing good and well.
I just want the salami.
I want more. I want the sex and to be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to play the game because that's what that is.
Right.
I'm going to play the game because that's what you, in my mind, want.
Right.
Until it doesn't feel good to me anymore. Then I'm going to be like, all you want me for is sex. And I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't you say that's what you want?
You said you wanted the salami. Mr. Clark says, I would say we have, at one point in our soul journey, just that we had got interrupted and have lost our natural way or natural order.
Yep.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. We have been so divided. And it is, look, it's Sunday. It's a plan of the enemy.
They ought to get me.
Right.
But it is, though.
It is. It's a plan of the enemy. Right. And some people can make that super spooky deep and spiritual, or they can see on a political level or all the levels that it is a plan for us to be divided.
Right.
I said it before, and I know your boy said it. I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. We are a force when we're together.
Yeah. That's what they want, the division. They want the division. Hughes says, creating the safe space in relationships to welcome vulnerability. That's tough.
It's hard.
That's tough.
But necessary.
And needed.
Oh, we talk about that so much. Like, we were talking with some friends the other day, and they were saying, like, what's the thing about relationships? I was like, it's work.
Right.
And they were like, it's work?
Yeah.
And when people say that, I'm like, well, what do you go to a job every day?
Be work?
Like, it's not work like, oh, I can't stand this.
Well, I don't know.
But
sometimes it is.
Really?
Sometimes it is. For those who are not,
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
No,
for those
right.
Not if you're on point and you have the vulnerability dynamic.
Got it.
For those who don't have the vulnerability dynamic, along with other dynamics, sometimes like, okay, for instance, COVID.
Okay.
COVID showed a lot of us how many of us really liked each other.
Let me tell you what COVID did.
COVID showed a lot of us.
It put a light on relationships. Oh, do you see that?
Man, listen, it was so many sexual assaults and murders and physical assaults from COVID because they realized that I honestly don't like this motherfucker. Mm-hmm. Or they knew that, and then they had to be at home with them regardless, right? And
had to deal with, I don't like you.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Kim says, how do you create those safe spaces? It's hard for people to open up to others.
Oh, can I please?
Okay. All right. Yeah. You answer the question.
Because so many people ask this question.
Right.
It starts with you.
Ooh, gut punch.
It is, right there. Because all the people think, oh, well, I'm not going to be vulnerable until they are vulnerable.
Right.
Nope.
That's not how vulnerability works.
You got to be you regardless, 24/7, 365. Period.
And what it is a lot of you don't like you, don't trust you. You're not even vulnerable with yourself.
Oh, that part.
Why would you be vulnerable with somebody else and then say, how do you create a safe space to be vulnerable? Not saying that for Kim, because Kim knows how to create safe spaces. I'm sure she's just asking. But what I'm saying is, when a lot of people ask us that, and they're saying, well, how do I create this safe space? The first thing we say is, have you created that safe space for you? Have you been vulnerable with yourself? Have you been honest with yourself? Because honesty is synonymous with vulnerability.
But I'm with me every day. I'm 24/7, 365. I'm with me. A lot of us ignore ourselves, just like we ignore other people.
Right.
We ignore ourselves. We distract ourselves. We busy ourselves with everything instead of spending time with you. I encourage everyone that I'm in therapeutic process with, date yourself. And I don't just mean this cute thing where you're going out, couple girls doing all of that with you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about spending intentional time with yourself to learn you, to love you, to like all of you, even the parts that you're like, I don't like that little jiggly part. That part too. All the parts of you. understanding you, all of that.
Right. Right. Speak on how psychologically domesticated in in relation to vulnerability. Oh, I definitely will. We're
Oh
gonna hit that.
Lord. Okay.
We're gonna hit that. We're gonna hit that because psychologically, we've been programmed not to be vulnerable because vulnerability was the key to keep us together as
Mhm.
black men and black women. So they had to desensitize us. They had to normalize certain behaviors
Mhm.
that went to the opposite direction of
Mhm.
vulnerability. That's why we
Correct.
are where we are now. But we'll definitely get into that for sure.
Mhm.
We have normalized this dysfunctional ecosystem. We have. I just said that's, yeah, we
Yep.
have. We've normalized it simply because that's what we allowed ourselves to accept while chasing equality from another ethnic group, right? When you're chasing equality from another ethnic group, you kind of want the same, you want into the system they created instead of living adjacent to the system, our system within ourselves,
Right.
right? So when you're chasing that, then psychologically they allow you to be, or they teach you dysfunction while seemingly integrating you into their system or letting you into the system, which they never will.
The acceptance of what we create is never good enough, that we have to assimilate to whatever it is that they have deemed good
Right.
or best or whatever.
Right.
And what we have always had between us when we create the dynamics is, like Jason said, that soul connection that
Yeah.
cannot be denied.
Yeah. So this brings us to our first question. What are the known and unknown costs of being radically transparent and vulnerable for self and within relationships? Let me read that again. What are the known and unknown costs of being radically transparent and vulnerable for self and within relationships? Wow, that's a lot. One, because vulnerability costs.
There's definitely a cost to vulnerability.
Vulnerability costs. Vulnerability says that even when you are vulnerable, you're not able to dodge criticism. You're not able to dodge speculation. You're not able to dodge accusation.
Right.
Your vulnerability does not grant you the power to dodge the bad parts that come with being vulnerable.
No.
Because vulnerability operates on a spectrum in each lane, so does what comes with vulnerability.
Right.
On a spectrum, there's good and there's bad. But when it comes to the unknown cost of being radically vulnerable and transparent for self, the cost differs.
Right. I mean, I would say being radically transparent for yourself sometimes costs you friends.
Ooh.
Sometimes costs you family.
Well, oh, you different.
Connection.
You different, huh? Oh, because you don't do this no more. You too good to go over here with us. You different.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
What up, dog? You don't even call Nick no more, man. Shit, we used to hang out, go chase business at the mall, man.
Yep.
What happened, bro?
Yep.
Man, you reading books now, nigga? You trying to grow up, nigga?
Reading books and drinking water.
Right.
I'm sorry. So it's like drinking water and reading books. Like, what's going on with? Really? Like you?
Instead of cheating is a crime, reading is a crime.
It happens every day.
Every day. I think there's other cost of, like, that's a good cost. You lose some friends.
Oh, we got.
You definitely got a call. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Uh, Jason. Jason, how we doing, sir? Pretty good. Thanks for calling in. What do you have on the topic? Right. Right.
Mhm.
Many of us are now getting the courage to speak out on certain things, as far as personally, with their relationships, with family, with society, work, all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, you live in a capitalist society, so you got to also figure the balance of how I'm gonna eat, how I'm going to survive. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you guys can hit on that a little bit, I appreciate it. I can get off the call.
Oh, you did good. They was having trouble hearing you, but that's on us. Don't worry about it. But you're right, Jason. There is a lot of things that play into the part of the awakening of self and what it costs. And he said
Yeah.
something about having heaven on earth.
Mm.
Mhm.
And what I would say to that is the heaven on earth is what you create at this point in time within your reach, within your ecosystem, within your micro
Mhm.
environment. Heaven on earth means, for instance, you're about to get married, you're about to have a
Mhm.
family. That's heaven on earth. If it's
That's correct.
operating in the functional way that you guys deem it to operate,
Mhm.
right? That's heaven
Mhm.
on earth. Outside of that heaven on earth, or outside of that door of the household or the threshold, heaven on earth just solely depends on you and what you create in the different environments that you're in.
Right.
All right.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when you're facing that, the vulnerability aspect comes in knowing what you can and what you do and what you do not have control over.
Yep.
And mastering what you do have control over and worrying less about what you don't have control over. So when you don't
So
have
tell me this.
control over it,
Go ahead.
it
I'm
allows
sorry.
you to create the heaven that you actually need and want everywhere you go.
So devil's advocate a little bit here. Um, so because the thing about that is, I'm a strong mind. I'm a magnet. So I most times magnetize like-minded people or like-hearted people. Okay, there. So my ecosystem is kind of very well protected. But on a scalable level, how do you scale that up? Where you basically where and I don't know how I'm trying to paraphrase this, but basically when you scale it up, you want to have it everywhere. Like if I'm shooting down in Houston, I know I got me an ecosystem where you can have your heaven. Okay, then if I come to the Houston spots, I know we good. Like how do we scale that up as a community, as a society or whatnot? Though, can you guys speak on that a little bit? Because I feel like
Definitely.
that's really needed for a lot of people. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, this is where you create connections all over the world. Like, and that sounds so like simple. Like, we have connections in North Carolina
Right.
and we foster those connections. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
meant by there are people that you lose along the way. I think the way that we are socialized to believe, we feel like we got to take everybody with us.
Right.
When I did the wellness retreat, one of the speakers was like, Harriet left a lot of people behind.
A
I
lot.
was like, damn.
And listen,
Oh, Jesus.
it wasn't just the people that couldn't make the trail physically. It was people who psychologically did not want to go.
That part. That part.
We have to
Oh yeah,
realize that. So it's more
yeah.
to answer the question, Jason. It's more of a who qualifies to be in your heaven.
Say it again, baby. Say it again.
Who
So now you say
qualifies?
we didn't create a metric system individually or collectively.
Correct.
There's a measurement system to actually figure it out. And I get that. I definitely get it. I always it's a good quote out there. Let the dead bury the dead. a lot of people don't want to do that sometimes, but you kind of have to do that. And I
Right.
get it on a spiritual level or a mental level. But I'm also saying that we also are givers of life. And that means we can
We
transform
are.
people too also.
That's
But
true.
So,
only those people who want to be transformed.
Right.
I can't make anybody take the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Another thing that we were talking about is we give a lot of things away for free.
For free.
Free 99. Do you know
well,
there's lots of people
well,
just
that's
they
that's being
don't want to hear.
domesticated right there.
Yeah.
They just don't want to hear. And that's okay.
I
Yeah.
got
Because it's not my intention to force anything upon anybody.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
It is here for the
Okay.
taking, much like
Uh,
God is such a gentleman. Not to bring religion
so
into
I'm,
it,
I'm
but
I'm about
you
to
have
get
a
off of April.
choice to
I got
salvation.
April. I got one question. I'm about to hang up, and you can answer this if I hang up, or I stay on you till you respond, and I get off. But so to that, now you talk to a
Oh,
person. So you talk
thank you.
to a person big in the community,
Thank
and
you.
so on the educational side. So I always tell people, how do we get to the ones who don't know no better? And I'm saying basically, you already understand how we develop our frontal lobe late in the year. They say in the 20s. I think maybe in the 30s nowadays. And so for young people, how because we can't just throw them away because young fools will become old fools
Oh,
and they will
That's
that's true.
outnumber us who so-called we say we got it. So how do we get to the environments on those? And you don't have to have a right answer, but how you feel about that?
There's not a right answer. There's just an answer. Again,
Yes,
I,
ma'am.
I try to speak to anyone and everyone who will listen. And even I
Mhm.
try to speak to the ones that don't even want to listen. If they have an interest, if what can I try? So my DBA is April Autumn Sparks. Sparks is not
Okay.
a last name. Sparks is a verb. What can I spark in you?
Mm.
How can I light a fire in you? How can I inspire you? How can I create something that will burn for you to then be the change? Not just for you, but for others too. And
Mhm.
so that is my goal, to spark people into thinking a little bit differently so they will change the trajectory of where they're going.
What I do is
Well,
I
I'm gonna
respectfully,
hang up, guys, and listen.
Okay, thanks.
no
Thank you
doubt.
for calling.
What I do is I respectfully challenge their position, and if their position is working for them, I'd say, like you, by evidence of what? What's the results that you're getting? Because if it's really working for you, you're getting the results that you want,
And you don't have a complaint.
and you don't have many complaints, right?
Right.
Like you may have a complaint, oh, it's going slow, it's this or that, but for the most part, you're getting the results that you want if your point of view is the right one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so even if I'm getting pushback on challenging their point of view, challenging their perception, I don't take it, to heart. I say, okay, well, at least I know they heard me, even if they had selective hearing,
Right.
right?
Like that.
The fact that you came to the conversation anyway lets me know whatever we need
You
to
were
know.
listening.
Right. So it's one of those things where it goes back to the question. Being radically transparent and vulnerable for self allows you to go into these different areas that don't see, think, look like you, challenge their current position or point of view or perception respectfully, and leave unscathed because you know who you are. You're vulnerable with yourself, and it allows you to be vulnerable in your relationship, whether it be with your wife, your partner, or the relationships that you build within your ecosystem, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Ash says, I think one of the costs of being completely vulnerable and transparent is not having the same level of vulnerability and transparent being reciprocated. And you're left with feelings of resentment.
Mm.
Whew.
Ash, I would say this.
That's a gut punch right there.
It is. It is. That's real. First.
That's.
Thank you.
Yes, that is
Thank
a gut
you,
punch.
Ash. I appreciate that.
That is a gut punch.
In understanding reciprocity,
Right.
I think we have to first understand that things are never going to be equal. It can be equitable. Look, here I am, DEI, in relationships. No, I'm playing. But for real, it's not going to be equal.
It's not.
It can be equitable, but that takes more conversation, understanding, and overstanding.
Right. The overstanding part, Ash, allows you to vet the person you're having an idea of being potentially vulnerable with.
Right.
And you're giving them pieces of vulnerability to see if the reciprocity is there. Mm-hmm. You're not hiding it. You're sectioning it off. Mm-hmm. Because vulnerability in the point of reciprocity is like a tennis match. It's a back and forth. It's a give and take. It should be ever fluent once that person understands that you're giving them pieces of vulnerability. In exchange, they should be giving you pieces of vulnerability. They should be. Now, it should be the key word. Now, here's the thing. We fall into the hole of expecting vulnerability like we gave it.
Looking exactly the same.
That's the first mistake we make. Mm-hmm. We cannot give vulnerability on condition. We cannot give vulnerability and expect it to come back to us in the same level, with the same veracity and the same intent.
I'll just say it the way that you're saying it, but without saying it. You can't expect you from other people.
Facts.
You can't expect you from other people.
Right.
If that were the case, you just stay dating you.
Right.
Or be with you. That's it.
Right.
However, you can build, again, this is what building.
Right.
An understanding, an overstanding, a safe environment to completely be vulnerable and honest. Right? I'll be honest. Not everybody gets all of my vulnerability. They get April, autumn, but you get like all sides.
100.
Bless you.
100.
Bless your heart.
That's why I drink right now.
Anyway, not everybody gets that, but not everybody should get that. Right? That doesn't mean that I'm not April, autumn whenever I show up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the level, again, the spectrum, the level of vulnerability, not everybody gets.
Right.
They don't.
You got to also be comfortable in some cases with, because again, we talked about vulnerability in categories, right? And we talked about self-vulnerability before expecting to give vulnerability across the aisle, right? Mm-hmm. What we have to understand is if we have not mastered vulnerability with self, there's no way we can even fathom what vulnerability and reciprocity is supposed to look like when it comes back to self. Because we don't know what it is with self. So we don't know if we're receiving vulnerability or not. That's why the mistake is being made in some relationships that says, but I gave you vulnerability. It just didn't look like what you thought it should look like.
All right.
It just didn't have the energy that you thought it should have. But just because it didn't look like what you thought it should look like does not mean I did not give you vulnerability.
At all. And then when you get into a relationship where you have then created the space,
right,
the openness, the vulnerability, the moments of nakedness, the all of that, you will find that the level of vulnerability continues to grow and stretch and expand and do. And you're like, wait a minute, this is another level.
Right.
I thought I was completely vulnerable, and now I'm a little bit uncomfortable because I'm seeing I need to be more vulnerable.
Right, right. Vulnerability is not supposed to be on condition. Vulnerability should not be weaponized. Vulnerability should not be self-inflicting. Okay? Vulnerability is simply who you are at your core without any shame, regret, or anything.
Guilt
or anything.
Embarrassment.
You love you if nobody else, including your kids, your mama, your aunt, you love you regardless. You love you regardless. And you can show up as you, loving you in any atmosphere that you go into.
Let me just say, for the record, that you cursing right now.
I am.
You cursing.
I am.
Because in our community, we are really not taught how to love ourselves. It is really put everybody before you.
Right.
And I'm going to say something that you might not like. For Black women specifically, we put everybody. We are taught to put everybody's needs, wants, desires before our own. That is what you're to do. And we were talking about in the grocery store. Remember, we were talking about like attending to needs.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so, just a little aside, we were talking about like when a man goes silent. Now, let me just say, it is perfectly fine for a man to go silent.
Is it though?
Especially with a woman who talks a lot.
Is it though?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
All right.
It is.
All right.
So, in that though, there has to be an overstanding.
Right.
Right. And safety. Oh God, that's a whole nother show. We'll notes in the notes down there. Anyway, and so we were talking about how sometimes it's really difficult for Black women to be quiet. That was hard for me just then. I just wanted you to know. And it was like 3 seconds.
Yeah, you got about 3 seconds of quietness now.
Now, the reason why is because we're constantly checking on people. You okay? You need anything? What's good? How you feeling? We're checking the room constantly.
Right.
And so if somebody's quiet, something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
You okay? Everything good? What you thinking? How you feeling? And if you get that response, you're like, oh crap. They done shut down. What did I do? What was I? Oh my gosh. And then it turns into all of this.
Mm-hmm.
All of this.
Because the running joke that we were talking about is there's this running thing online where it says it's a guy and a girl, usually Black, and it goes, Black women have a hard time doing this. And he just stops and he sits and he says nothing. And then the girl usually goes, what? Doing what? Oh my God, what? What are you talking? See, that's why you full of shit. You just don't say nothing. What are you talking about?
Weaponizing. Okay. See that? That was weaponizing because your silence was vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Because for men not to know, and we've talked about this, to not know, to be quiet, to think, to ponder, to all of that, that's vulnerable. Sometimes we don't say that because we are the checkers. Mm-hmm. We are the, you all right? You good? You need something? Huh? Wait, you're not saying anything. Hello? Are you there? Why are you ignoring me? It's that.
And so that was the whole thing. And it goes on for like a couple minutes and they never get it until the end. And so it's usually the Black woman feeling some kind of way, getting angry because she doesn't understand what it is.
But what is her anger covering up? Hurt, being misunderstood, being confused,
vulnerability.
We can wrap up the show now. Thank you so much.
All right, next question. In Black relationships, is the reluctance to express open vulnerability often a survival mechanism, or is it a barrier preventing the very intimacy and healing that you long for? Let's do that again.
You want me to read it?
Go ahead.
In Black relationships, is the reluctance to express open vulnerability often a survival mechanism, or is it a barrier preventing the very intimacy and healing you long for?
Basically, is the fact that you are hesitant to open up and be vulnerable, is that a survival tactic, Or is that just something preventing you from reaching the goals of intimacy and healing that you need for yourself?
Can two things exist in one time?
I think it's both. Because again, we in the African American diaspora, in our community, we want healing, we want intimacy, all these things we want. But we also know in order to get there, it goes against what we have now been socialized to believe, which is everything that is synonymous with weakness, everything that is synonymous with being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
It's saying, and what we're saying is, in order for you to get the stuff that you really want, the vulnerability, the intimacy, the reciprocity, the healing, everything else, in order for you to get that, you actually have to go be vulnerable yourself. You have to open that up.
You know what I thought when you were saying that, why I started giggling?
Well,
It's because I've had this conversation with Black women about submission.
now that's
And
a
that's
cuss
the
word.
first thing that popped up in my head.
That is a cuss word.
Like, you mean tell me I gotta submit? And I'm like, you don't have an idea of what that even is yet, so let's not go there. But in actuality, yeah. And the thing is, the submission starts with you. Oh my God, no, I feel like a broken record sometimes.
We gotta be.
Because the submission actually starts internally at you looking at the broken pieces that exist within you and how you arrived at this point currently.
Right.
What was the history that landed you here? What I loved about what Jason said was the only thing that you can teach your youngins is what you know.
Right.
So if your mama taught you brokenness, guess what you're
know
going to experience?
brokenness.
But we don't want to say that. That's wrong.
And black woman, the black man 9 times out of 10 came from the same mama who taught yo brokenness. But yet and still, when you get out here, oh, black men are emotionally unavailable. You too, motherfucker. You too.
Both of you are. But you're so doing this, you don't see the fingers that are pointing back at you, and you never investigate what's going on here. So, oh no, it wasn't my fault. It was his fault. Well, it's probably both of your faults.
You chose that nigga.
It's both of your faults. So,
but you don't want to do that, because doing that would make you vulnerable with yourself, and you'd have to admit that you were wrong. You chose wrong. You did wrong. You chose to ignore the red flags. You chose to build you a nigga, save you a nigga, all this other stuff that involves. You chose the wrong woman, black man. You sat up there, you knew she was ratchet. You thought your money was going to save her. She told you exactly who she was.
But what we're really saying is you are attracting a wound mate.
Right.
A wound mate, a mate that you have seen in your past, whether it's your mama, your grandmama, somebody back there, your daddy, your grandpa, uncle, whoever, and you're repeating the cycle. It's a cycle.
Whoever hurt you before you started dating or while you started dating, until you get healed, that's who you attract.
You will continue to do it. Just a different face and name. Same
That's who
person.
you attract.
Same person.
That's exactly who you attract. And you wonder why. You think, what is it about me? What is it about me? Or you'll go something else and you go into denial. You say, all these women out here, all they want to. No, you keep attracting that kind of woman. You. Because like my wife say, everywhere you go, there you are. You keep attracting that. You keep being reluctant to express vulnerability with yourself while expecting them to give vulnerability with you. Oh, this is going to hurt today.
Jason said, not wound mate. Yes, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Wound mate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wound mate.
Yeah. Definitely.
This is the...
Yeah. Definitely.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Listen, we want our people to heal.
We do.
We want our people to heal. We got to have these tough conversations. And the tough conversation is, black man, black woman, You are 50% of the reason why you have experienced the failures that you have failed at. You have chosen to not deal with your trauma. You have chosen to ignore your trauma. You have chosen to expect other people to heal you, and they don't know nothing about you, let alone you don't know nothing about yourself.
It's funny. We've had some people like they have a small awakening and they think they know themselves now.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I don't like this person I'm married to. I'm like, actually, you don't like you. Let's start there. You don't like you.
Yeah, you don't like you.
You don't like you. And I need for you to look at you. Continue to be curious about you. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being curious about you.
Right.
There's nothing.
I said that all the time. I said, stop expecting people to like you when you don't like you. You don't like you. Just because you go get your nails done and your hair done don't mean you like you. Just because you go work out, but yet and still you're antisocial, don't mean you like you.
Oh.
You don't like you. Stop expecting people to swim through crocodile moats and hop over barbed wire fence to get to a version that you don't even know about yourself.
Right. Right.
Kim says, so how do you be vulnerable with yourself?
Oh, thank you for asking.
It starts by asking that question.
Thank you.
Because some of y'all won't even ask that question.
So this is something that I do. Should I do it?
You do it.
Okay. So this is a free, see Jason, I'm about to give a free resource for people. This is something that I do with my clients to tap in to them, right? So one of the things that I hear a lot is, well, I miss, I'm with me all the time, but I miss people. I miss people. First of all, sometimes people are to distract you from the work that you are to do on you.
Right. By yourself.
Let's be clear.
By yourself.
There's a time, a place, a season, a moment that should just be curated for you. Just for you.
For you.
Okay? All right. So the first thing is curate a space for you. We're so busy curating spaces for our children, for our mama and them. Where's your space?
Let me say this.
Go ahead.
It's funny how you know what it looks like to protect your children. It's funny you know how it looks like to protect your mother, your bestie. You know what spaces to create for them, but you don't know what spaces to create yourself. For yourself. You don't want to be by yourself because being by yourself means you have to actually deal with your own shit, your own self. And some of y'all don't want to do that. So when it's time to create a space for yourself, creating a space for yourself means you have to deal with you.
I ain't even had nothing.
This is a mirror. You have to deal with you. And until you are accepting that you have to deal with you, and that is the very start of realizing how to create a safe space, you're not going to be able to create a safe space.
There you go. So one of the things, I'm coming back. One of the things we talked a lot about, like when women have breakups, and I'm talking specifically about women, Black women in particular, they go straight to God.
Holy art thou.
They go straight to God.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, please, Lord, help me. Lord, 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 Lord. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I want you to tweak this because people don't think about this. Where does God reside?
I'll wait. It ain't in the church.
In you.
It ain't in that book that's incomplete you call your Bible.
God is in here. But we go out. We go to Monday night Bible study, Tuesday night Bible study. We're going externally to find something that's already in here.
It says it in a bunch of Bible verses. Where you at?
It resides in you. So again, create a space for you. I created a prayer closet. Now, it wasn't a little space. My closet was big. It was comfortable. It had lots of pillows, it had candles, it had all of these things. Things that I would bring snacks in there. I had a little refrigerator. It was good.
First of all, she's saying all this, but let's be clear. How you talk to God is how you talk to God.
Yeah.
Quit all this.
Father God in heaven.
Jesus' name and all this. You not preaching. He know you. That's
Been
supposed to
knowing
be.
you.
That's supposed to be your partner. That's supposed to be your mom, your dad, your friend, all the above.
Right. Yeah.
That's why she was able to have snacks in there. She's having her time with God. He ain't say you can't bring snacks.
He know I get hungry. He know I get thirsty. I'm a little parched. I talk all the time. I'm gonna need something.
He ain't say you. This is vulnerability.
Right. So I had the space, and I made a special time to be with me. I did it in the morning and I did it in the evening. I went in my closet and I was quiet. I quieted my mind. I looked within. I thought about all the versions of April. And you might be like, what is wrong with you? How many versions of? Oh, there's several versions.
17, if you add the 7.
You know what, sir?
If you subtract 3 plus put 2, okay.
There was me as a child, 0 to 5. Then there was elementary school. Things happened in elementary school. Things happened in my teenage years. My college things happened in my college years. I went back to those versions of me and I spoke to those versions of me and I asked me, what did you need that you didn't get? And I gave it to me. I love you, Black girl. You are wonderful. You are special. You are the best thing since sliced bread. You are God's wonderful creation. I love you so much. You can do anything and everything you put your mind to. And from that space is where the healing began. That's vulnerability. To admit that there are spaces within you that are harmed, that are cracked, that we did not have safety. We did not have understanding. We did not have a voice. And now, as an adult, you can go back and give that to you. Because what happens is that you go out to people and expect them to do what you have never done for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Validate me. Tell me I'm beautiful. Tell me I'm worth it. Tell me. Give that to me. And it ain't his job.
Not my job.
Because whether he says it or not, which he says it all the time, but whether he says it or not, I am all of those things. But it's not for him to tell me. It's for me to believe for myself. Not for him, not for anybody out there, but for me.
You know how we know that this part is true? Because you remember, Black man, Black woman, when somebody complimented you about how you were the shit, you didn't believe them?
Oh, I ain't doing it. It's all right, doing that.
Oh, you look good. Yeah, you just want my number.
What?
I just said you look good. You look nice today.
Remember, we just came from grocery shopping not too long ago. And I'm the type of woman that I will see a woman, I'm like, oh, she looks beautiful. Hey, beautiful, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Some people can accept that. Some people are like, are you gay? I'm like, so Black women can encourage other Black, oh, okay. But that ain't about me. That's about them.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows.
Mm-hmm. Next question. We only got this one and one more to go.
We got long-winded.
Black couples or single Black men and women that deal with vulnerability being a struggle. Here's the question. Is the act of being vulnerable a path to liberation, or can it feel like an unreciprocated risk?
I think Kimberly said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or no, it was Ash. I'm sorry. Ash said that it was unreciprocated.
Right.
And sometimes, as you said, it can be weaponized.
It can be weaponized.
Understanding that you being vulnerable, again, grocery store. Hey, beautiful, how are you doing? Are you gay or something? No. Have a good day. That's vulnerable. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be unscathed when I'm being vulnerable with somebody. But my responsibility is still to show up.
Right.
Authentically me.
And their response did not affect your vulnerability because you found power within vulnerability within yourself. That's the point of starting with yourself. That's why somebody will never be able to fill this hole of vulnerability for you. It's not their job. They don't know the schematics. You barely know the schematics. They don't know the inner workings of you. I don't care how many years you spent with them. If you haven't been vulnerable those entire years, they don't know you.
At all.
Especially if you don't know you.
At all.
And you're expecting them to just give and pour into this empty cup with holes in it. That's not going to retain anything that's in there because you're scared to admit that you're broken, Black woman. You're broken, Black man. You have holes in your cup and you're expecting people to patch these holes and fill these holes, and they didn't hurt you. They didn't hurt you when you were 10. They didn't hurt you when you were 5. They weren't the breakup that caused you to go into this, tailspin of everybody ain't shit. Now, even though it's not your fault at that place, what is your fault is you not doing the work to fix it.
Yeah.
Because you put yourself in that situation. Well, they finessed me. You believed the lie. What was it about the lie that you believed?
Right. And I think that's the other good point, babe, that when you know you go to a different level to protect you. Like, sometimes when we're hurt, it's like our guard is way down. Then we get hurt, we go way to the other end of the spectrum. There's a balance. You can see the BS coming. But what happens is, my favorite, don't make me laugh. Oh, well, maybe I can change them. Oh, they like me. It's just me. I'm like, no. That's them. It ain't you. It's them. But maybe I should give them a chance. No. What is your gut telling you? Because your gut will tell you every time. I don't mean here. I mean here. Your gut will tell you every.
What I laughed about is when the guy said, if female intuition was so tight and accurate, why couldn't you tell when that man was unhappy with you?
Though. We watch Cheaters. Okay, it's a guilty pleasure, y'all. I'm sorry. It's hilarious. Trash TV. Every last one of those people in the beginning interview, they had a feeling.
They didn't have a feeling.
Shut up.
Some of these
They
motherfuckers
had receipts.
They had clear evidence that this person is cheating, and they were like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm gonna be if I catch him cheating.
And what it is I don't want to believe
that's what
that
it is.
This again. No, they got me. Yes, right. Them. That's what they doing. That's what they do. Even the person that got mad at Peter Panky or whatever his name is, right. And got into a fight with him. I'm like, he ain't the person cheating on you. It's that person.
You hired this man to find out if your girl was cheating. He brings you receipts, and you mad at him, and you hired him.
And you fight him.
Because
your girl is cheating. Okay, that don't make sense. But anyway.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, your gut, it's again, that's getting into your body. That is knowing you. Listen, our ancestors, they were in touch with their mind. They knew the mind-body connection.
They didn't need a Bible to do it too.
We have lost our way. But we have so many things that can distract us. That's why I said you need to get still.
Because the act of being vulnerable can be a path to liberation.
It can be.
And it
should be.
It should be. And it can, my opinion is, it can only sometimes feel like it's unreciprocated if we're looking for vulnerability or we're giving vulnerability on condition. Meaning we've traded vulnerability, if we've treated it like a transaction. When you treat vulnerability like a transaction, you're going to look for reciprocity.
Mm-hmm.
If vulnerability was $5 and you gave vulnerability 10, you expected your change back because it's a transaction.
That is transactional. Again, it's equitable,
Right.
not equal.
Right.
It's not going to be equal because the level of vulnerability that maybe I walked into this relationship with was different than the level of vulnerability you walked into it with, because of history, because of region, because of so many different things.
Yeah. We gave vulnerability in pieces.
We did.
But it was a level up piece.
Right.
Like it was never
like we were playing cards or something.
Yeah, it was like, we was out here playing vulnerability spades or something. Like
that's what it was. Right. Good job.
We out here count books.
What you got?
Vulnerability spades.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know you was gonna be that vulnerable, but I'm gonna hit you with this.
Oh, okay. Let me check. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah, vulnerability spades. That's what we was doing. That's how we came into this thing, because we were already vulnerable with ourselves. Yeah. I didn't rely on her to validate my vulnerability.
And still don't.
I don't need her to validate my vulnerability. I'm vulnerable with myself. The best person you can lie to is yourself. That's who knows you the most. You can tell them all kind of lies. That's why they may or may not believe it if they're not operating in alignment. But if they're operating in alignment, you can't even lie to them because they know, because they love themselves. Yeah. They're vulnerable with themselves.
Yeah.
So when it comes to vulnerability, just like this question, it should be a path to liberation.
Yeah.
But not liberation of you being free from these different things. It's liberation of freedom within yourself. This is all tied to you. Think of the plane aspect for those who fly. When they go through their little spill, it says the oxygen mask drops down, you asphyxiate your oxygen mask, or you fix your oxygen mask to yourself. Once you have it nicely secured, you turn to your neighbor and assist them with their oxygen mask if they're having trouble.
Now, somebody fought me on this. What if your child can't do it? I'm like, okay, I see that. I get your point. But okay, do your child's first. And then by the time you get to yours, your ass done passed out and died.
Hurry up, Johnny.
How?
Hurry. Oh, shit.
And so now your child is without a parent because you don't get it. But you think because that's the way it's been, we should sacrifice for our kids. We do, but to what level? If you're not taking care of yourself, how can you then take care of anybody else?
If you're not vulnerable with yourself, how could you be vulnerable or expect vulnerability from somebody else?
But
it all starts with you. You're not vulnerability. When you master it, it doesn't worry about if it's weaponized or if it's being given in reciprocity, because you're not doing it as a transaction. You're doing it because it's simply who you are. It's simply what you do. When I came to her, when we were dating, I gave my vulnerability not as a transaction, but as a blueprint to say, I'm vulnerable. This is who I am. What about you?
What you gonna do? Oh, and if I hadn't been, here's the thing. I'm gonna give you my blueprint. If I wasn't, he would have snatched it back and been like, bye-bye.
You ain't ready for this blueprint.
You're not ready.
That's what vulnerability is. So if you're in a relationship and vulnerability and you're struggling with it, it's because you're not vulnerable with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're not honest with yourself. You're not being realistic with yourself. You're living in something that is other than the reality of what it takes to be vulnerable and to receive vulnerability. Because watch this, when you are vulnerable with yourself, you're honest with yourself. You are giving somebody a visual representation by your actions of what vulnerability looks like.
Yep. Period.
If you're not vulnerable with yourself, but expecting that person to be vulnerable with you, or if you're giving vulnerability on condition and expecting the reciprocity, and it doesn't look like what you think it is, it's because the vulnerability that you gave was not your authentic vulnerability because you weren't vulnerable with yourself.
It ain't gonna work.
It's not going to work.
It ain't gonna work.
This is why you struggle with being vulnerable. You know you, but you don't want to deal with you.
And because you know you don't want nobody else to really know you either. So you create this facade of you. That's another conversation. But continue, baby. I'm sorry.
Oh, Jesus. Last question.
When Black men and women are encouraged to express vulnerability, does this push genuinely foster deep emotional connection and healing? Or does it often inadvertently expose them to further exploitation?
When society tells you, Black man, Black woman, you need to be more vulnerable, you need to be more open, is this a genuine push for you to get healing? Or is it something that you feel like they're trying to exploit your trauma? Because we can apply this not only to society, but relationship dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
If you have somebody that's asking you or telling you, I would talk to you if you were more vulnerable. I would talk to you, you just let me in. I would do this, I would do that if you would just be more open and vulnerable and honest. How do you tell the difference between if they are genuine in trying to help you and allowing them in your vulnerability, or are they going to weaponize it later on and exploit your weakness? It only comes from understanding who you are as a person. That's how you tell the difference. If you're vulnerable with yourself, you can tell when somebody is asking you to be. If you're vulnerable with yourself, ain't nobody asking you to be vulnerable.
Because you're just doing it.
Because you're doing it. Ain't nobody asking you, you need to be more vulnerable. You need to let me in. You're already vulnerable. Whether they think it's vulnerable or not, it doesn't matter to you because you know you're being vulnerable. I'm not saying on day one, you got to be like, listen, all right, so I got like 17 dogs, 3 goats, 6 cats. I live by myself. It ain't like that.
That's not vulnerability. Anyway, that's just giving people information
Right.
about you. I think, first and foremost, I think people really need to come up with a working definition within themselves. Like if they're getting to know somebody, what is vulnerability to you? Because truth is truth, like being honest,
right,
transparent, like not leaving out information.
Right.
But vulnerability, and I think Couture said it is the ability to show who you are.
Right.
This is who I am. I'm not asking you, truth may come with vulnerability, but truth and vulnerability are different.
And it's not weaponized.
Exactly.
If I give you truth, which I should be doing with my vulnerability, I'm giving it to you because this is how I choose to operate. I'm not looking for your acceptance.
Right.
I'm giving you the truth.
I have an example that I didn't even think was an example. No. So when we first started talking, we were in 2 totally different states. And he didn't know I was in a different state.
Did not?
He did not. This was day one, first of all.
Didn't read the fine print.
He did not read my Facebook.
Didn't read the bio.
Yeah, bio. So anyway, we're talking. And at the end of the conversation, I'm like, hey, I got to go to work tomorrow. I got to get off the phone. He's like, oh, well, is it possible for us to meet up for brunch or something like that? And I said something like, it would require me to get on a plane and all of these things. He was like, wait a minute, where are you? I was like, I'm in North Carolina. He was like, well, I don't do long distance dating. Okay. And I said, that was his truth.
Yeah.
That was his truth.
I was on it.
And I said, thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate the conversation tonight. It was amazing. So, but I get it. I totally get it. I hope you have a good night. Bye. Click. That's what needed to be said. It wasn't no, nigga, what you mean? You know? No. That was his truth.
Yeah. Until a nigga thought about it. I thought about that shit. I was like, Yeah, you gonna have to no. I know you in North Carolina, but a nigga make an exception today. But I had to analyze at that moment. Yes, that was my truth, but did that work for the end goal I was trying to accomplish?
But,
and I was vulnerable in asking myself that to say, okay, because the reason I said that was I want to be around. If we're together, I want to be around you. I want to be able to come home to you. This, and that, right? But I was like, as a grown man who can travel, is that necessary?
I know how to get on a plane.
I know how to drive.
I've got a passport. What is this about?
Do I need to really? Yeah, let me call this motherfucker. Yeah. I changed my mind. Yeah. Jesus said I could travel. He said I'm gonna be all right in the air, and you can travel my way too. Whatever you want to work out.
Oh, Jesus.
We can even have just video breakfast together. You be over there, and I'm gonna be over here.
And we did.
We did.
And it was great.
Yeah, we did.
So I say all of that to say there was no reason to weaponize anything.
Right.
But that's what we end up doing. Like, what you mean? You don't do that. Like, what's wrong with you? Like that. No, that's your truth.
Right. And it was encouraged without saying that you're encouraging me to express my vulnerability because you gave me yours.
Yeah.
So it gave me permission that I didn't need because I was going to give you my vulnerability anyway to reciprocate and give you mine.
Yeah.
That's how this dynamic started going.
Yeah.
Because a vulnerable person understood that they were dealing with a vulnerable person.
Yeah.
But even if I wasn't, or even if she wasn't dealing with a vulnerable person and she was vulnerable, she's vulnerable with herself enough to know this ain't it.
Right. I'm not going to try to convince you, oh man, traveling to see me, that's not bad.
Right.
For what?
She's like, all right, then.
I know who I am. I know what I know. So, okay. All right. I wasn't going to be like, you just wasted my whole time. No, because I had an amazing conversation with a wonderful person, got to know them. It was great. We had great conversation.
Oh, yeah. It was great. Great conversation.
And again, the weaponizing.
Right.
That it can turn that quick because people aren't honest with themselves first. Because again, I'm not trying to convince nobody to be with me.
Me neither.
No, thank you.
I can be with me all day long.
And I'm fine with me.
There's a lot of good things about,
I'm fine with
But that's the thing. Again, I say that to say because when you're encouraged to be vulnerable, black man, black woman, in this country, it's frowned upon. It's looked upon as weakness. It's looked upon as something that's not going to help you further the thing or reach the goal that you most desire.
Right.
And that goal is to partner. That goal is to marry. That goal is to have somebody in your life or simply just love yourself like you've never been able to do before.
Right.
However, it can only be weaponized and exploited if you have not mastered vulnerability within yourself. Because you can be vulnerable with self and not master it and get around somebody who has ill intention. And they will in turn exploit it and continue to weaponize it against you. But because you haven't mastered it, you end up staying in situations longer than you needed to. You ended up staying in friendships with people longer than you needed to. You ended up staying in relationships with this toxic person who has weaponized your unmastered vulnerability longer than you needed to. So you ended up with the results that you have.
Watch this. You give family members chance after chance after chance to harm you, hurt you, talk crazy to you, instead of drawing a boundary and saying, thank you, and walking away. Mm-hmm. That don't mean that you don't love them any less. That means that they just don't have proximity to you. Just because you love somebody, just because they're your family, that doesn't mean that they get to have your presence all the time.
Right.
This is valuable. People think I'm cocky when I say that. Man, I don't know. But this is valuable. My mental, my physical, my emotional, my spiritual health is very valuable to me.
Listen, that just struck a nerve because when I hear black women say, I'm protecting my peace, I'm protecting my peace. Let me tell you something, black woman, you're not protecting your peace. You're avoiding accountability. You're avoiding responsibility. You're avoiding the things like your trauma that you need to work on.
Yeah, that's a deep dive within you.
That's a deep dive within you.
So if that is called protecting your peace, you're not. You're delusional and you are in denial.
Vulnerability, black woman, does not need to be protected. It doesn't. Because you know what it is. You know how to weaponize it. You won't even put yourselves in position for it to be exploited because you know what vulnerability looks like when it's on somebody else who has done the work like you. Same thing, black man. Not every black woman out here trying to hurt you, bro.
No, at all.
Get off that, man. Not every black woman out here just ratchet and out for your money and want to have a baby by you so they can put you. You ain't even that special. You not. You not that special, even though the ratio is 3-1 in our community. You still not that special, sir. It's the people you have dealt with from your unresolved trauma that allows you to pick the same people that look like or feel like the hurt you received at first. See, what you keep doing, black man and black woman, like we said earlier, is not perfecting your vulnerability, but still reaching out for somebody to fix you. Still reaching out for somebody to help you and be responsible.
The only person that's going to save you is you.
Matter of fact, the only person that's going to save you is the healed version of you. The only person, black man, black woman, who is dealing with issues with vulnerability, the only person who's going to save you is the healed version of you. Ain't nobody else coming to save you.
That's it.
Even God said everybody ain't getting to heaven.
That's a whole nother conversation for another day. This has been so informative.
I told you it's going to be hard. I told you it's going to be hard because vulnerability and the cost, you have to be willing to pay the cost. But if you think about it, it doesn't cost that much.
Can I finesse it a little bit? The cost, you're worth it.
All right.
You're worth the cost. You, to find that you on the other side of that,
yeah,
you're worth that.
Right.
You are more than worth that.
And whoever told you that you were not, they're scared of what you'll become. They are scared of you being free within yourself, so you are no longer attached to them.
Yep.
That's why you meet so much resistance from your family. That's why you meet so much resistance from your hating ass friends. That's why you meet so much resistance from the church.
Oh Lord, you going there?
Oh, I'm gonna punch him today. I'm gonna punch him today.
Well, I will say that getting this work done is not the easiest.
It's not.
It is not. And a lot of times you need a guide on the road. And so what we want to offer you is for you to reach out to us. You can reach out to my website at www.aprilautumnsparks.com. April like the month, autumn like the season, sparks like sparksfly.com, or
www.empowerhimlifecoaching.com, where you can recommend somebody who is black or a male or both that needs life coaching assistance, which is definitely similar to therapy, but it's a different approach as in the therapeutic process. And come schedule a free consultation for 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Let's see if this thing is for you. Even though I focus on black men, I'm definitely down for helping my black women. Okay? Because sometimes you need a male perspective. Now, I will hold your hand, but we will confront the truth. She will hold your hand, but she's going to walk you through the storm. That's what we are here to do. That's what we want to do. We are furthering our education and furthering our skills every day, just so we can come back to our community and help our people, because we are vulnerable enough with you to say, it's okay that you need help.
It's okay to not be okay.
It's okay to say that you're not okay.
Yep.
right? But our question to you is, now that you recognize that you have struggle, issues with vulnerability, what are you going to do about it?
Time is now.
It's never too late to start doing something about your vulnerability issues and any other issues that you may face. If you want to reach us collectively, you can go to www.theobsidianluxgroup.com and you can reach us both. You can send emails as far as requests to join our private groups, because we have a private women's group on Tuesday, private men's group on Wednesday, and a couples group on Thursday. And even though it's a couples group, you do not have to be coupled to come, because it can help you be coupled later on.
All right.
These are free tools to help you outside of the therapeutic processes of a therapist and a life coach.
We also have books online, and
Right.
we will be, in the next couple of weeks, there'll be some e-courses that will be available.
Some ebooks. I got an ebook for Black men that I'm developing called Unchained. So definitely be on the lookout for that. These books are very affordable. They're ebooks. We're here to give you information, but we can't do it for free all the time. So
we give a lot of free resources.
Yeah, we give a lot of free resources, but some things is just not for free. But we're not going to knock your pockets off. That's just what we're trying to do. Also, like she said, the courses coming through that we'll be selling and helping people. One of the courses is vulnerability, how to approach it, how to deal it, how to create safe space for yourself. All the things we talked about in this podcast today. And there's some other courses out there. They're one-off courses that will help you actually get to the root cause and further your goal of reaching you on the other side, a better version of you.
Yep. Yeah. Today has been fun as always.
Very, very fun.
Hi, Mommy.
Mom out here doing a big thing. Where you at?
I'll find out. I'll look at my GPS. It'll be okay. We'll find you.
What GPS? You think you slick? Shout out to A1 Cigars.
Oh my gosh.
Man,
yes.
Listen, Felicia at A1 Cigars, Black-owned business, holding it down. She's doing phenomenal things, her and her husband. Shout out to them. They got a whole bunch of stuff going on, I think, in Detroit.
And here in Houston.
And here in Houston. They're opening up another space, cigar space, Black-owned. They got their own cigar brand as well as a lot of premium cigars. They educate you on cigars. Their lounge is here in a good part of town in the Galleria area. And it's very chill. It's very lax. It's very grown focused. So shout out to Felicia and A1 Cigars and her people over there, her brother, doing big things. There will be some podcasts going on over there pretty soon. So that's what's up. But shout out to them and shout out to everybody else that has came through and supported us. We're at 201 official subscribers.
Yay!
So now that means we can start selling merch on YouTube. And we'll be able to sell merch on YouTube. And definitely our merch is to help people. It's purely to help people. We may come out with some fun stuff, some fun shirts and things like that. And really doing what we do to further our people and further the knowledge and help them, basically awake and get, what'd she say? Say hi to Jessica.
Hey, Jessica. My cousin Jessica is watching.
What up,
hey, girl. Hey, now. I see her. She commented. She was like, yes, facts. Okay,
She's doing things. She's doing things. Big shout out to the boy Jason Clark. Again, doing big things. This guy is full of information. We'll definitely have him on the men's podcast and the couples group. Shout out to Kimberly. Shout out to my sister and CoachJHughes and the Dallas Hugheses. We coming to Dallas to turn up for this graduation. So it's going to be something.
Yes.
We're going to be doing a whole bunch of things. So, and thank you to all 201 of our subscribers and everybody here today. It's been a great show.
I saw Delon come through too, I think.
Yeah, Delon. Delon and Kalia, I think.
Hey, Carol.
Yeah. So shout out to those people, our brothers and sisters in North Carolina.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank all of you for coming out, supporting us, having this hard but needed conversation.
Oh, it's definitely.
We look forward to seeing you again next week. Again, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Are you ready to go?
I'm thinking I might want to go to A1.
Bye, guys.